Welcome back to Chronicle. Ahead of this Veterans Day, we're getting a look at programs aimed at helping those who fought for us transition out of military life. Well, the University of Nebraska Omaha has its own office committed to vets and those serving. It's called OMAVs. That office helped the university get a national recognition from the Military Times Best for Vets list, and UNO is ranked the best public university for veterans across the country. It says UNO empowers military-connected students to make purposeful connections to resources. So I asked the director of OMAVs about who can be helped and how.
Everyone has different goals or trajectory that they're pursuing, and there's not a one-size-fits-all. And I think that's what makes us unique is every student that comes to me, I take that student for who they are and what it is that they want to do, and we navigate a map for them that's what they need at the time that they need it.
So if they came to you, they just called you out of the blue, and they're in the Air Force, for example, and they say, hey, I'm thinking about going to college, but I'm not sure what I should do. What do you tell them?
I usually start by asking what it is that they want to do with their education, what they're interested in studying or the goals that they have for themselves. And then we take that information and we pair it with the opportunities that we have and then give them the steps to onboarding into that program. That sometimes includes helping them identify where the application is and how they answer questions in that application. It may be tracking down transcripts from prior education. A lot of our service members have attended institutions at multiple locations as they've moved throughout their time in the military. And so just helping them understand what it means and what's required for them to become students here at the university, we don't overlook the small things.
How do you help them financially? I mean, do they get a break to the GI Bill, all that?
There's a lot of different ways that they can fund school. You know, we encourage everyone to fill out the federal financial aid application every year. Our active duty service members are going to have tuition assistance through DoD. That, you know, comes with a set of rules and regulations, and we help them understand what that means for them. And then there's also a lot of great education benefits through the VA as well. So here in Nebraska, we're really blessed too to have the waiver of tuition program. And so for our service members who experienced a 100% permanent and total disability, or for the family members remaining who maybe lost that service member, they actually can go to college for free at any of our public schools.
You know, I've seen some research that shows that veterans in college may have higher instances of substance abuse and PTSD than the students who aren't veterans. Do you see that? How do you address that?
I think that, you know, is in higher education and in our population just in general, right? They've experienced things that may cause them to have those things that they're struggling with. But I challenge that with also looking at them as an asset. And all the value that they bring, and try to look away from the deficit model of thinking when it comes to serving these learners. Of course, they're going to have things that we need to support them with when it comes to substance abuse or PTSD, but there's far more positive than negatives when it comes to this demographic in our community. And I think it's important to focus on that just as much as we are on supporting them in the other spaces.
And also, though, there have been studies that say sometimes veterans have a difficulty connecting with students who aren't veterans. I mean, do you address that, or is that even important, Sarah, to address?
I think it is important. We want them to assimilate, right, to some degree, but we also want to make sure that they've got a space where they have their own sense of community. And I think that's the beautiful thing about our office and where we are on campus. So we're located in Milo Vale Student Center, right in the heart of Dodge campus. That allows our students to participate in all of the regular activities that are happening, but also gives them a place to come in and find people who have similar experiences and connect in a way with a community of people who understands the things that they've been through.
How does your proximity to Offutt play into this? Does it help the military support you?
I think it does. So we've had a partnership with Offutt for over 70 years, I think, and we actually have staff who work out there through our Division of Continuing Studies who really laid the bedrock for military-connected students at the campus here in Omaha. So I think that it's definitely important to what we do. We just had a lunch and learn day where we brought STRATCOM onto campus to have a conversations with students who are interested in doing intelligence work. And so it really is a nice relationship that we've built with multiple agencies across the installation. In the last year, we've even begun being a SkillBridge provider. So we're trying to build out our veteran representation in our faculty and staff, in addition to the things that we're doing for students.
And what's your message to veterans who may be considering that next chapter in their lives?
I think that it's important for them to know that there are a ton of people out there and here on the UNO campus who are ready to help them in that journey, and that there will be a lot of new things that they're exposed to, but there's also a lot of opportunity waiting for them.
And Karnowski says they are trying to give student veterans the best of both worlds. Still ahead on Chronicle, I'm going to share the story behind Nebraska's Vietnam Memorial and why the government won't allow the names of 3 Nebraska sailors onto the national monument. First, a thank you to all veterans. And what are your thoughts about Veterans Day? Email news@ketv.com. We love hearing from you.